this year, in the next month or so. And in the budget, they're more likely going to put another carbon tax on. And it's all in the name of this nonsense. This is not the warmest year on record. Just because January and February were a few degrees over what they normally would be, that pushes up the yearly average. It doesn't mean it's been very warm this summer at all. It's complete and utter nonsense at this stage. And people who are falling for this nonsense now are the bigger fools. I know people who are climbing literally under their beds, terrified the world is going to end tomorrow. This is absolute bullshit. They have a picture of a sun shining in the sky, in a clear sky. We haven't seen that image. There it is there. Look, I know you see it on my phone. Of the sun shining in the sky. We haven't seen that image in this country in quite some time. Look out the bleeding window at the moment. All I can see is clouds. It hasn't really stopped raining in about 4 or 5 days. I mean, what is wrong? By the way, can I say a big happy birthday to one of our regular callers, Joe, who's celebrating his 50th birthday today. Happy birthday, Joe. You're only 10 years behind me. Anyway, look, I want to get on to something here that's important, I think. And as you all know, the country is celebrating because Kellie Harrington, of course, has confirmed that she's retiring from boxing. Now, I don't think she's retiring. Maybe I'll find out exactly what that means in a few minutes. But what she said in RT was she was retiring. I'm assuming she was retiring from amateur boxing. And she will probably go on to be a professional boxer, obviously where she can make some money. But well done, Kellie Harrington. Double gold medal. Great stuff for Ireland. Ireland are doing really well this year in the Olympics, of course. More gold medals than we've ever received. I think we're probably going to break all records when it comes to our medals this year. Well done to all the Irish athletes who've done really well. And well done to Kellie Harrington. That's your second gold medal. Hasn't been achieved before as far as I know, but I'll find out in a minute if that's true or not. Of course, the 34-year-old retained her lightweight title by beating China's Wenlu Yang in the final in Paris on Tuesday night, and she's indicated that she would hang up the gloves and confirmed to RT News, Radio News this morning. So the country was celebrating, but one person wasn't celebrating. And they sent me a WhatsApp message. It said, no doubt, Niall, you will be lauding over the fact that Kellie Harrington won a gold medal for Ireland in the Olympics. But am I the only one that's a bit disappointed? And I'll tell you why. A few weeks ago, my 8-year-old daughter has been asking me to sign her up at the local boxing club. She asked my husband first, and he stupidly started encouraging her without actually saying it to me first. I'm delighted Kellie won, but I don't want my daughter aspiring to get into a ring to punch or get punched around the place in front of thousands of people. I never liked boxing or any of these fighting sports, or for men or women, and I think they're barbaric. I think it's even worse for girls, to be honest, as I really don't think their bodies are designed for this kind of sport. Why can't they just like tennis or golf or some sort of sport that's not dangerous? Mind you, I don't know. I think golf courses, I think more people are going to die in golf courses from heart attacks than any other sport. Anyway, since yesterday, she hasn't stopped going on about it. And I'll be honest, she is a really, really small and a small frame. She won't stand a chance. My husband thinks I'm overreacting and overthinking the whole thing. But then again, he's a typical sport enthusiast and sees nothing wrong with it until she's laid out on her back, his little princess, after she gets punched in the head and knocked out by some other young one. Anyway, is there any way of putting her off this idea? And how should I put her off the idea completely? So, okay. She's called female boxing barbaric. Barbaric. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, and people who know me for years, listening to the show, will understand I am not a fan of boxing. I never have been. I never understood the concept of it. But one of my friends, and a good friend and acquaintance of mine, wouldn't be too pleased with me on that matter, but he knows my feelings, and he also joins me on the line. Gary Spike O'Sullivan, of course, is an Irish professional boxer, multiple middleweight champion, and joins me. Gary, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Niall.
Well, Gary, you know my feelings on boxing, even though I love you. You know what I mean? But you know my feelings. Gary, look, well done to Kellie Harrington. By the way, the fact that she said she's retiring, do you think she's genuinely hanging up the gloves, or do you reckon she's going to go professional now?
I'd say she'll definitely hang him up as an amateur now for sure. It'd be silly of her to have another amateur fight and risk getting beat. You never know with the judging these days as well. Well, it's always been that way. The judge always been, you just know what kind of a score they'll come back with. I think she should retire as an amateur for sure, and I'd like to say have a couple of fights. One of the girls who got the bronze medal.
Oh,
weight division in the
your phone is breaking up just a little bit, Gary. You run up the stairs or run out the back garden or something like that, or I don't know. Okay. So, by the way, Gary, how are things going for you? I know your last two fights, unfortunately, weren't very successful. But what's your plan now? Have you got another one on the way?
Yeah, I'd like to fight before the end of the year and get back to winning ways, hopefully.
Yeah, because you've been so successful up to now. It's just been unfortunate that the last two haven't been that successful for you.
Yeah, I had a couple of injuries. It was just tough going. I broke my ankle playing football in the garden with the kids. Had a rib injury as well. A couple of issues, but I'm mentally strong, and I still believe in my son that I can come back and act to win and win. So
yeah,
that's the plan.
Well, look, you're a good boxer. You're well known. You know, I don't know a huge amount about the sport, as you well know, but you're well known. You're a good boxer. You do a good job, and a lot of people are huge fans of what you do, Gary, or Spike, as you're better known to most people. So, getting back to this woman, you know, I mean, look, boxing for young kids has become extremely popular. So has MMA and a couple of other kind of fighting sports. You know, I mean, is it really, a sport for girls? Should I even ask that question? Is that sexist of me to even suggest that, you know, you wouldn't want your little princess, you know, running around, you know, a boxing ring? You know, because, look, we all know the intention, Gary. When you get into a ring, in a professional bout, the intention is you don't want that fight to go on for whatever amount of rounds. You want to knock that person out to make sure the fight doesn't last that long. Isn't that the intention?
It is indeed, yeah. You're spot on. And I feel the same way about my daughter as that woman does. I don't want my daughter to box. She's 12 years old. She's been wanting to box for years and years. I taught her some boxing just for some self-defense and a bit of extra confidence.
Yeah.
But I don't want her to box at all. Just don't. I can't. My younger brothers box as well, and just being ringside watching them, I was more nervous than when I fought myself. It's very. You just become very nervous, and I really don't want my daughter to do it anyway.
And do you ever worry about it, Gary? You know, throughout your career, have you ever had any moments where you got a box to the head, or, you know, where you kind of thought to yourself, Jesus, is it really the right kind of thing to be doing?
Yeah, I have to admit I probably did, yeah. Got quite a few beatings over the years, to the eardrums, busted ribs, multiple broken noses and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a rough sport, and you've got to be fully committed to it.
Now, I know when they're kids, you know, the trainers are very protective. They wear all the protective gear. You know, there's a lot of different types of rules. You know, there's less contact. It's more about the skill, I suppose, and the discipline when they're young. But once, I suppose, they get to their teenage years, it becomes more serious, doesn't it?
It does. I think amateur boxing is good that way. There's less rounds, obviously. There's 3 rounds in the men's, whereas as a professional fighter, you can put 12 rounds, and before my it was 15 rounds. I think, you know, sustaining punches for a long period of time is, you know, dangerous in a short period. Plus the gloves and that professional boxing harder, you know, helmets. You know, so I think amateur boxing is a lot safer, and you know, especially as a child, people wouldn't be as powerful on average. Like,
yeah.
So,
but still,
I think it's good, and I think it's good skills, great physical fitness, and I think
from that point of view, it's good for discipline. Yeah, there's good discipline and there's good physical fitness in it. But in saying that, it wouldn't be for you, for your daughter. So what would you say to this woman? Would you say, look, let her do it, she'll get bored after a few months and she'll give it up? Or would you say, you know, try and discourage her and buy her a tennis racket instead?
I think at first, I should probably, most people do just kind of see Kellie Harrington, the Katie Taylors of this world, and they want to get a desire to do it then, and it's hard game, and most, I say majority went back then after a few years. I suppose like all sports really in the end of the day, but good sports. I'm actually going to teach my kids maybe a little bit later on basketball again, and this Kellie Harrington.
Yeah. I'm sorry, your phone line is really difficult to hear, Gary, for some reason. I'm not too sure where you are at the moment. Maybe it's just your signal.
I'm in the kitchen.
Oh, right.
Bit unusual.
Yeah.
It's usually good. I'd walk into the front room here and see, is it any better?
Oh, that's much better. That's much better. So, yeah, but the husband seems to be all for it, by the way. But then again, he's a bloke, and blokes tend to be all for it. I mean, when you watch, you know, women fighting, you know, be it Kellie Harrington or Katie Taylor for that matter, do you look at it the same way as you look at men boxing? I mean, is it sexist of me to think that men are more designed for that kind of thing than women are?
Criticized, but I was always kind of, I don't know, it was new to me, and I can't see my daughter taking punches.
Yeah.
It's no wonder. My son, I kind of discourage him from boxing as well.
Yeah.
But if he persisted with it, to say when he gets to, 14, 15, I'd probably leave him go. But I suppose, look, if my daughter persisted with it, I'd probably leave her go in the end as well. But I really hope that doesn't be the case.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just before.
Punches for him.
Okay, well, look, we're going to talk to some callers in a second in relation to it, but just before I let you go, I hate to put you on the spot, Gary, but of course the Olympics this year has been fraught with all sorts of controversy, particularly in the boxing, in relation to, two boxers, female boxers, who are tested and found to be ineligible by the boxing authorities in relation to their XY chromosomes. In other words, they're biological males. Now, there has been a lot of controversy about this. And how do you feel about this? I mean, some boxers are okay with it, some are not, and some say it's unfair on women who've maybe trained all their lives to get to this point. And no matter what sort of, I know they check testosterone levels because you get drug tested and all sorts of things, right? But no matter what your testosterone levels are, a male is always going to have a more powerful punch than a female. That's just unfortunately a fact of life. Men tend to be generally stronger than women. Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's acceptable? Do you think the Olympic Committee need to relook at how they deal with this situation? Because they seem to be defending both of these boxers who are biologically male. And yes, they identify as females. Now, there's a huge amount of confusion in relation to whether they are male or female. It does seem like they were raised as female. Well, certainly one of them was raised as female, although born with male chromosomes, and now a suggestion as well, male genitalia too. So do you believe it's fair?
I don't think it's fair at all, no. I think they need to look at it, and I don't think it should happen in the future. I feel quite strongly about it, actually. Like, if my daughter was to box and she used to fight one of these people, for example, I think it's wrong.
Mm. Yeah. Do you think? Well, see, I don't know how they're going to deal with this, because would it be fair for them then to be in a boxing ring with other men when they have, I'm assuming, lower testosterone levels than other men? So realistically, the only way out of that then is to have a separate category. But then there would be only two of them, as you know. There's Iman Khalif is the one that seems to have most of the controversy at the moment, because obviously doing quite well. But it does look like the final now is going to be two biological males fighting each other in a female boxing final.
I think it's very unfair on the women that have obviously boxed for many years to get to the level they're at, and I just don't know it at all. I think it's very wrong, to be honest.
Mm. Yeah, I know the International Boxing Association don't recognise them as women. They recognise them as biological males, but the Olympic Committee recognise them as women. Oh, I think we've lost Gary there. Have we lost you, Gary?
Sorry, I think that they're right not to recognise them as females. I'd be on their side.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, Gary, thank you very much indeed. And by the way, continued success in the future in your career. And I'm sure we'll catch up again on the phone and have our usual little chats that we end up having for hours on end.
Yeah.
Lovely to talk to you again, Gary. Thank you very much indeed, and continued success.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. Gary Spike O'Sullivan from Cork, Irish middleweight champion. What a wonderful guy. Has done Ireland proud throughout the years in his boxing career. And look, he said it himself. He has a daughter himself. He wouldn't want her boxing. He just wouldn't want her boxing. He doesn't think it's right. Now, I don't think he's been sexist. I think if it was his son, he'd feel the same way. And also in relation to that controversy that's going on at the moment, he thinks it's wrong that biological male boxers are allowed in the ring with women. But getting back to what we're talking about, this is after Kellie Harrington's win. And once again, by the way, I don't want to come across like the sour grapes. Well done, Kellie, by the way. I'm not a boxing fan. I would never watch boxing. It wouldn't do anything for me. If it came on the television, I would turn it off. It would do nothing for me. To watch two human beings knocking the shite out of each other in the middle of a ring does nothing for me at all. I personally don't like the sport. Gary knows that, by the way, even though I made his. He knows that. But in saying that, some people really enjoy it. some people get off on it, some people make a lot of money out of it, and it is a sport, and there is a lot of discipline involved. Let me go to Charles first if I can. Charles, hi, how are you?
How are you, Niall? All right?
Good. Charles, female boxing. Now, this, going back to the original message that we got in, the person says they're not happy that Kellie won because now her 8-year-old daughter really wants to get into boxing. If you had a daughter, would you be happy that she was in boxing?
I have 2 boys, so I don't know. I probably would feel a little bit different if I had a girl myself, because my oldest son was involved in boxing for a long time, and it's not good to see your child getting there. They usually match up pretty well, but I don't see anything wrong with girls boxing at all. I'd be up for. I'd be totally for it. It just the word you use when whoever called in the first place says it's a barbaric sport for women. I don't think there's any much education there using that kind of language, because the girls fighting, you'd very rarely see a knockout in the pros or the amateurs.
Not the amateurs, you probably wouldn't. No.
It's very rare. Even in the pros, it's very rare you'd come across a woman who's heavy-handed enough to hit another girl and actually put them down. I don't think Katie Taylor had many knockouts even in her whole career. And I think I think they're actually so fleet of foot that a lot of them are. A lot of women's sport boxing is focused on the defence and not getting hit as much as actually hitting.
Yeah.
So I have a niece who's she's a couple of all Ireland champions at the moment now. She only started a couple of years ago, and she's very, very heavy-handed. But when she's fighting girls who started before her, she finds it hard to put a glove on them because they're so hard to hit,
Yeah.
And I would be totally for it. It's just the only reason why I called in was because basically using the word barbaric for it, I just think I think it's wrong. I think that comes from a place of miseducation or non-education on the actual thing.
Well, the idea of a sport, any sport, to be honest with you, is to be competitive, obviously, and disciplined and all those other things that come into it. But the idea of a sport where you put 2 people in a ring, which is whatever, 16 foot by 16 foot, I think, or whatever it is, right? To put them in a ring. And the idea or the purpose of the sport, Gary said it himself, from a professional point of view, when you get to a professional level, and they all do aspire to be professionals. That's the whole point, isn't it? Okay, it's great to be an amateur and win a gold medal in the Olympics. But, from that point on now, obviously Kellie Harrington is retiring now. Now, that doesn't mean that she's packing in the boxing. She's retiring from amateur boxing, probably, but she'll probably move on to professional boxing. The idea, of a sport where the purpose is to get into a ring and knock the other person unconscious. And that is the purpose, because, Spike said it himself. When he's in a professional bout, which is whatever, 13 rounds or 12 rounds or whatever it is, he doesn't want that to go 12 rounds. He wants that to end in the first round. So he's going to go out there with the intention of literally knocking out another human being, or knocking another human being unconscious. Would you really want your child involved in that? To me, that's the whole. I don't see that personally as a sport, Charles.
Well, I was involved in boxing like a part-time as a kid, and I kind of went back then later on when my older son was involved. I kind of started training back, and I've done a few white collars and that, and I was actually going back to do the seniors, only for I broke my thumb. But painting a picture there that, so first and foremost, not all amateurs want to go professional. Kellie Harrington is 34 years old. She'll retire now, hopefully.
Do you think she'll? I don't know much about boxing. Do you think she'll retire for good?
She's too old. Yeah, she's too old to box. No, I don't know about amateur. She said she won't go professional.
Do you not think so?
Appetite. I don't think there's an appetite for. I don't think she's strong enough, and and this is not a criticism. I don't think her fight. She's exceptional. And I didn't actually realise how accomplished she'd become. She was absolutely phenomenal. The fight that she was in tonight, that was better than the fight last night with the Cuban and the French fella, and that's more technical and better fight, and that says a lot. It really was. But I don't think everyone's I know a lot. The guy Adam Nolan, I think he's a guard. Not everyone wants to go professional. Just that's first and foremost. But I do agree with. I know Spike very well myself. I do agree with the likes of Spike when you're fighting at that level. All you want to do is if you're as heavy-handed as Spike was, and you're as heavy-handed as the people that he's fighting, your initial thing is.
Well, he's a big guy. Yeah, he's a big guy. He's big. I know he's middleweight. I know he's middleweight, but yeah,
he's particularly strong for his weight category.
Yeah.
But like in that kind of sense, if you can get the fight over and done with, you have less damage to yourself, and you've actually got less damage to the opponent, because if you can put an opponent down in the first 1 or 2 rounds with a couple of heavy shots, you're actually protecting them from taking medium to kind of stronger hits for 12 rounds. Like, it's the last thing you want to be seeing is people getting punch drunk from getting hurt, you know what I mean? But it's like the amateurs and the professionals is a different game. It's a totally different ball game.
Yeah.
And especially for girls in that regard. I'd have more reservations about my son going to boxing for a long time, because they're open to being hit like with much more powerful punches for a lot longer. Like, I know a lot of I know a lot of young players now that are 20 and 30, and they've been involved in boxing since they're kids and been mismatched and sparring too heavy in clubs that didn't really care about them, and stupid coaches, and they're all going around kind of slower than punch drunk. And I'd have more reservation with my son. But just in general, the benefit, like if you're looking at two guys in a boxing ring, for that half an hour or 40 minutes, whatever it is, they're like two animals. But like you'll very rarely find anyone who's involved in boxing or MMA or that actually is a bully. They usually start off as kind of highly aggressive people, or maybe just kind of anti kids or whatever. And they might be bullies themselves. But being in a sport like that will actually take the bully out of you, because as soon as you realise that you don't have to be afraid of the average person in the street, you can actually be much more relaxed. And your initial, if someone confronts you on the street and you can't fight, you're probably likely to throw a punch quicker than you are if you can fight, because if you can fight, you'll more than likely try and de-escalate the whole situation.
Okay, well, do you ever stay there for a second? Let me just go to Angela as well. Thank you, Charles. Angela, hi, how are you doing?
Hi, Niall, how are you?
Angela, you know, is it sexist of me to say that I don't like boxing at all, but I think it's even worse to watch women do it? Is that kind of sexist or misogynistic of me to say that?
It's not, because I'm the same with a lot of women's sport. I just don't like watching two women beat the living shit out of each other, if I can say that.
Yeah.
I don't. Now, I'd be a hypocrite if I said I didn't watch it. Of course, I did to support her, but I'm sitting there going, ugh, you know, and like, obviously the bigger boxing matches, you know, you might watch it, but no, I don't agree with it. I wouldn't like to see two 10-year-old girls in a ring, you know, boxing. And as you said, because we've had this conversation before, going back a good few years ago, the goal is to go in and knock out your opponent. That's what it is.
Yeah, why can't they do something more female, you know? I'm going to take a real sexist pig here. Like volleyball. Beach volleyball.
It's the same. Oh, yeah. Now you're being the sexist.
I'm just saying. No, you know what I mean? Or naked tennis or something.
Where they wear nice little tight shorts. Nice one. Karen is going to love you for that one.
I'm just saying. I hate to be a complete sexist, but I just think this. I wouldn't like to see a woman in MMA either. Like, you know, do what Conor McGregor does. You know what I mean?
I don't understand that. And also, like, I'm definitely going to get killed for this. I don't watch women's rugby. And you know me, I'm the biggest rugby fan. I absolutely love it. I don't want to watch women playing it. I don't think it's exciting. I don't think it's as fast-paced.
Well, it's different, isn't it? Yeah.
Big girls. It's totally different. And I don't understand it, I suppose. Like, even when I was a tomboy, you know, I was a tomboy for a good few years. I wouldn't want to go into a ring and fucking box the head off someone. I don't understand it. Now, come here,
Is it barbaric, by the way? She uses the term barbaric. Do you think it's barbaric?
I don't think it's barbaric. Now, boxing, I don't think is barbaric. Rugby isn't barbaric, or even women's soccer or football or anything. Golf, not. But MMA, all them, yeah, that's barbaric.
Okay, hang on. Stay there for a second. Let me go to Norman as well. Norman, hi, how are you?
Hello, Niall. How are things?
Good. Yeah, well done, Kellie Harrington. We have to keep saying that to make it sound, you know, credible or in some way. But in saying that, would you want your daughter to, in a boxing ring?
Oh, stop! Are we back to this again? Are we? Jesus Christ! I don't know.
Norman, yeah.
Are women porcelain dolls are made of glass or paper mache or what is it? I thought we were supposed to be an equal sports, equality for all.
Jesus.
Are women afraid to? It's funny. It's funny that in Ireland, women can't hammer in a nail or put a screw into the wall, hang up a picture.
Yeah, my wife can. My wife can hammer in nails and put screws into walls.
But she's the exception to the rule.
What, you think all women are a bit flaky, like a little bit precious?
Totally. You just have to look at on the roads driving. I mean, they think they can don't have to follow any rules because they're women and then have to.
But I mean, I'm looking here. It says in your note here, let them participate if they want to. Women in Ireland are treated like little princesses and overprotected females.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
By the time they grew up, and if they want to participate in the real world, fine.
Yeah.
They can go down to the mines or whatever it is they want to do, or why shouldn't they be allowed to participate in any sport? No, I thought we were getting away from that. That women's sports isn't properly fine and stuff. Or
you can get away from it if you want. I don't know. I believe that two women in a boxing ring knocking the shite out of each other is very ladylike, is it?
It's not all sports. It's not all sports.
Ladylike. Ladylike. What's ladylike? Ladylike prancing around like a prima donna on high heels or something.
No, but what I'm saying is like golf. That's a nice sport for women. Golf. And it's only
tennis.
Golf. Tennis.
Volleyball.
Yeah, I love the tennis.
Badminton.
Yeah, ballet.
Camogie.
Ballet's nice. Oh, do you know what the best one is?
Synchronized swimming.
Synchronized swimming, yeah. Diving.
Hello,
when it's a non-contact sport.
Hello?
Yeah.
I
know, hang on. Go ahead. Sorry, Norman. Why can't they do all them kind of women-y sports?
What, like embroidery or something and crochet? Yeah.
Riding horses. Equestrian.
Oh, they're baton twirling. That's another one. Yeah, they're like. That's
cheerleading.
Cheerleading.
Why don't you don't have women's American football, do you?
What about doing some cooking for a change?
Yeah, the women's freestyle tart making competition. I mean, but Norman, no, I'm obviously, all jesting aside, women's bodies are different to men's. We know that.
Yeah, sure.
So when it comes to contact sports, it's a little bit, I kind of get a bit weird looking at women doing it.
Yeah, I can understand that, but it still doesn't mean that they have to stop just because you and I think maybe it's weird looking, does it? I mean, my son, I try to get my son and daughter to do contact sports or martial arts, mainly for physical exercise, because in our family there's a bit of a weight problem. We tend to do less exercise and put on weight, So I thought contact sports would be a way of getting exercise, getting around.
But you can box the bag.
And also defending themselves.
You don't have to go out and box someone else. Box the bag.
Oh, tea bag. Are you going to make me a cup of tea now, are you?
Yeah.
No, not. I didn't.
The bag doesn't hit back.
Yeah, but to box a boxing bag. That's great exercise.
Oh, what's the point? Well, it's actually more for self-defense, I was thinking of, because obviously, as a female, against male aggression, and then also as a male, if you go out drinking and somebody attacks you.
Okay, but sorry, no, hold on, we're gone off on a tangent here. So this woman, this woman, would you, if it was your daughter, would you encourage her, or would you say no, you're not doing it? End of story.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, of course
you'd encourage her. So you'd sit there at the side of the ring, watching your little 8-year-old getting her head knocked in the ring. You wouldn't mind that.
Don't get the head knocked in. Self-defense forces are very disciplined, and a lot of it is about. Actually quite philosophical, based on Chinese philosophy. Okay,
so let's say your 8-year-old does really well in the amateur end of things, right? And you're right, it is disciplined, and they're very good in the way they, it's more about skill in those, in those early days. And then she gets to 16, and she's still doing it, and she wants to head off to the Olympics, and she wants to become a professional fighter. Then, now the gear is off. Now she's doing 12 rounds or whatever it is. And somebody thumping the head off her, hoping to knock her out. Are you happy to sit there and watch all that, saying, I encouraged this when she was 8, well done me?
I encourage her to be independent and to choose for herself. And in the end,
That's not
my
answering
children
the
have to
question.
choose, no matter what.
That's
matter what,
not
it doesn't matter
answering the
what I think.
question.
No, it isn't, because it doesn't matter what I think.
It
What
does.
I'm trying to do is it doesn't. No, it doesn't. How does it?
It
You're
does,
a parent, you're
because
supposed to bring
if
them up
you
to
have
be
encouraged her,
parents.
if
You
you
need
have
to be a
encouraged
parent.
her at the age
No,
of,
you need
if
to
you
be a
have
parent
encouraged her,
and make up
if you
independent
have
children.
encouraged her
Don't be
from the
idiots.
age
You
of
go
8
into a car,
to become,
get into a
if
car,
you have,
drive off, don't sit at a driving license and kill somebody. Yeah?
Hold
Are
on.
people starting
That's a different situation altogether. That's an accident.
this comparison.
Would you stop out of that,
accident.
Norman? No, so you teach just because you teach someone to drive and they have an accident, you don't blame yourself for that.
Who's allowed to get into our car? You're supposed to sit. Because I was yesterday in the car with my daughter, and we were doing a bit of driving around the place. I'm sitting beside my daughter. I do not let her go into the car without me.
But that's fine. Driving is different. When you teach someone to drive, the intention is not to hurt themselves. But with boxing, the intention is to hurt your opponent or get hurt.
Niall, can I ask you a question there?
Ask Norman.
They should go to
Norman?
jail. Those parents of that girl who killed those two people should be in jail.
Yeah.
End of.
Norman, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you
Sure.
a question, right? So your daughter is in the Olympics this year, and she comes up against that other boxer who's
A bloke.
who's a
From
bloke.
Algeria.
Yeah, I believe he has
Yeah.
gadgets. Yeah.
Would you let
I'm not
her
gonna
now?
get into that argument.
Look at you, Norman. You're not going to get into that. No, don't get into that argument with Norman. He's all woke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pro-gender.
Norman?
Yeah, pro-trans. Yeah.
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 No,
So,
there's no suggestion the person is trans. The suggestion is the person is just a bloke.
Come on, guys. This is going down to the bottom of the...
I'm just saying. It's a bloke.
I don't think
It's a
Well,
lad.
he's been tested apparently in the lab, or she's been tested. I don't even care.
XY chromosomes has a penis. What do you think?
why do the World Boxing Association not recognise them?
Yeah, a good question. Because
The International Boxing Association has said that Imam Khalif is a biological man.
they didn't carry out any tests
They did chromosomal tests.
They've said it.
much later. So it's obviously a bit of a power struggle there.
Why in training, by the way? Why in the training does Imam Khalif wear a jockstrap? Can somebody answer me? I know nothing about boxing, but I'm assuming women don't wear jockstraps.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Because they don't get boxed down there.
Yeah, because they don't have a penis.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying, Norman.
And also at the end of the last fight, why did he put his hand down his jocks and adjust himself?
Come on, guys.
Herself, himself, whatever. No, females don't do that.
Norman, getting back to the original question.
Sorry, Niall, I'll be with you in a second. Jackie, I'll be with you too in a second. Sorry. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Go ahead,
So,
Angela.
Niall, Brian, Jesus, Norman. So
Jesus,
you're
no.
saying that it would be their choice to do this, where you would have encouraged it all through the years. So
I'm encouraging them to do a sport.
Norman, I'm not
encouraging them
finished.
to do a sport.
I'm not
She's
finished.
not finished, Norman.
I'm not finished, Norman. Right? The thing
Go on.
is you encouraged your daughter at the age of 7 to box all through her career up to pro. You would
be active rather than sitting on a tablet.
Norman, do you not understand? Do you not understand? I'm not finished, so please don't interrupt. Okay?
Jesus.
What I'm saying is, you would sit at the side of the ring. Jesus Christ! You would sit at the side of the ring if your daughter became pro and watch her get pummeled and cheer her on.
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah, he would.
You would.
Well, actually, Norman, stay there for a second, because Nuala's waiting ages and so is Jackie losing the will to live.
First of all...
well, hang on, Norman, hang on. Nuala.
No.
Wait, let Nuala just come in here for a second. She's waiting ages. She's actually aged while she's waiting. Hang on, Norman. Nuala, sorry, go ahead.
I think there's a nasty side to a lot of these sports, because there's a lot of supplements, even though they're legal, that people take to enhance their performances, and there's places where they can do this extra training and all the rest, and an awful lot of women that are involved in sports at that level, they don't get their monthly.
They don't get their monthly.
They don't get their monthly period because they're below the normal wage. And all that kind of thing goes on.
We're talking about money there for a second, right?
No, they don't win straight. And there's a lot of nasty sides to sport at a certain level. And because I remember when we were in this year, there was a group of us and we were doing a lot of building, and some of us were plastering and some of us were quarrying stones and that. But most of us would have got very below a certain weight. And like that, you don't get your monthly anymore. And that happens to a lot of athletes. You don't see that side of it.
Yeah, that's because their testosterone level rises.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then as well as that, it's the countries that have the most money that can encourage all this training. But you don't see these people. I remember I was talking to this man once, and he was saying about this friend of his who was a ballerina, and when she reached 50,
right,
she was crippled with arthritis. She was like a woman of 90. She could hardly walk, and that is the long-term
damage.
Damage is never highlighted. Like, I'd like to see Kellie Harrington when she's 75.
Yeah, well, if she continued to box. Norman, that's a fair point. Would you want your daughter in a sport, by the time she's 35 or 40 years of age, a lot of them get what they call punch drunk because they've been hit in the head so many times. Would you like that? Is that what you want for your daughter?
I didn't say that. If you read my text I sent in earlier to Karen, I said the only problem I think with boxing or any sport, and that's only boxing, it's also with rugby and even football, is concussion or damage to the head. There's a lot of concussion.
But hold on. Don't compare boxing to football or rugby, because although rugby can be dangerous, the difference is in rugby you're going after the ball, not the other player.
No, concussion.
No, I'm just saying, but it's not intentional, Norman. The intention in rugby is to get the ball, in the net or over the bar, right? Okay, the intention in boxing is to knock the other person out. There's a difference.
I don't think it's not the other. No, I don't think it is.
It is when you get to a professional level. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Don't be delusional.
We're talking about the Olympics.
It doesn't matter if it's Olympics. The intention is for every boxer to become a professional. They all want. Most of them want to become professionals.
It started. No, most of them want to win a gold medal if they go to the Olympics. That's the important thing. Same with the rowers. The same with the runners. What about the runners? The injuries that they get.
But boxing is different in the sense that with boxing, it's because it's such a spectator sport. It pulls in huge crowds in like Las Vegas and all these kind of places. So the intention by every boxer, I'm assuming, or most boxers, is to become a professional and make money out of it.
Yeah, but swimming is a very good sport.
Yeah, but you're not going to make a huge amount of money out of swimming.
But no, hang on. You asked me would I want to see my daughter. I would like to see my daughter was very good at swimming, and she was asked by a club to compete.
But swimming is fine. Nobody's going to get hurt swimming.
Well, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week.
Unless she drowns.
Are you joking?
Yeah, well, I'm just, they're not going to, yeah, but the intention of swimming is not to cross the lane and punch the head off your competitor.
4 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus, Norman.
Yeah, what kind of
my brain is starting to hurt here now. Listen, Norman, you can't compare swimming and boxing. They're two completely different things.
You're asking me, would I have my daughter do something? And I'm saying to you, would I bring my daughter up for 60 hours a week at 4 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, what kind of childhood would she have? Yeah, I think that's far more important, that she has a proper childhood.
But look, but the point, I'm talking about the danger level. I'm not talking about the commitment. I understand the commitment in any sport.
It's about a child having a childhood.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, fair enough. I get what the point you're making. But in relation to boxing, do you think it's barbaric?
I don't like boxing. I never liked boxing, and I've been like that for years. But a lot of people do. So, yeah.
Stay there, Norman, stay with me. Let me just go to Jackie as well. Jackie, sorry for keeping you. I know you've aged as well, waiting.
No, but it's very funny. So I was laughing away at some stuff there. Brilliant. I did kickboxing for, I suppose, 8 years.
Oh, that's even
So
worse.
I kind of, how would say, went along with people in my class that were there right up to the end when they got their black belts or whatever. Now, there was a lot of females. Now, as you know, kickboxing is another animal altogether compared to boxing.
You've got the perfect
you're
name
using
for
your-
it, like Jackie Chan. Yeah.
No, not at all. But what I saw myself with the girls that were there, young girls that came in, and when they started, and at the end, the confidence that they had was incredible. It just gave them so much confidence. And the instructors that were involved in this, they were so careful, headgear, everything had to be 100%. And then the sparring up along was light enough sparring until we got into competition. And if I had a daughter, I'd be putting her straight into it.
Would
I'd
you?
be putting her
Really?
straight into that. 100%.
Jackie, I'm surprised at you.
100%.
I'm surprised at you, Jackie.
No, it's when you actually see
I
the
remember.
difference.
I'm thinking back to when my daughter was 8 years of age. She was my little princess. There's no way I'm going to sit there at the side of a boxing ring and watch some other young one punching her. Why would I want to do that?
But the thing is, when you experience it, and when you go along to the classes and see what they do, and then you see the difference of your child, but that makes the.
I'm all for the training. But Jackie, I'm all for the training aspect of it and the discipline and the punching the bag and the bouncing around the ring and the agility of it and the skill. But the moment you put them in a ring with another human being, another woman, obviously a girl, right, and they start punching each other, that's where you've lost me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then you see, there's only a certain amount of girls that will go that far. You get some that will go up along and okay, they do their grades.
Yeah, but they might. Yeah, but they might. And then you're responsible because you encouraged it.
But
Niall, why are boys let do it?
Who's that one that she's really famous? She's now a movie star as well. She's in the Fast and the Furious. Ronda Rousey. Okay, so I watched a fight with Ronda Rousey. She's what they call mixed martial arts, isn't it? So I watched a fight with her. The girl that she was punching was unconscious on the ground, and she continued to punch her in the head.
No.
She boxed her senseless.
That's not the normal.
That doesn't matter. I wouldn't. Why would you want that?
Not at all. No. It's completely. That's extreme. And if anyone is listening, parents out there, get your daughters, get your girls out there into training, into boxing or kickboxing. Or tempo or anything. Get them out there.
So you bring a child into the world, and your job as a parent is to protect them, not overprotect them, but to protect them and to make sure you don't put them in any danger. And you're telling me I'm going to put her in a ring where somebody else is going to punch her.
You're missing the point. Our job is to bring them up and that they can protect themselves.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
We're not there all the time. We're not there all the time.
Well, then send them to self-defense classes.
A lot of people in Ireland want their children to sit in the car and sit on no exercise, feed themselves, stuff themselves with donuts, and watch the telly. Exactly. That's all. What's his name? Turbiddy's gone there, thank God. But watch the toy show. That's their idea of protecting their kids. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know why you haven't.
There's loads. Yeah. But hang on, if you want your kids to do a sport, there's loads of lovely sports. There's tennis, there's golf, volleyball, camogie. There's loads of other sports out there where the intention is not to hurt the other person.
But why can boys do it and women not?
I don't. But personally, I wouldn't want boys doing it either. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, but then
at least I'm not being really sexist about it. I don't care if it's boys or girls. If it was my son or daughter at 8 years of age, I wouldn't want them in a ring punching somebody else or having them being punched.
Yeah, but Niall, the other side of that is that your daughter grows up and she's 15, 16, 17, she's going out, she's going to the discos. Would you not be kind of sitting at home going, well, thanks be to God I put her through this training?
No, I'd send her to self-defense classes. Yeah, I'd send her. Yeah, you're right, Jackie. I'd send her to self-defense classes.
Okay, so that's...
Yeah, but I wouldn't. But I wouldn't have her competitively boxing, where the intention is to actually punch somebody unconscious.
have you been at any self-defense classes?
I used to, when I was a kid, I did karate.
Okay, so now you know then, you do all your katas, you do all the various things, but you do sparring. You spar with it, and that's how you learn. So they do punch each other. They do box each other. They do all the different movements because they have to. So
but it's never going to get to a point, where when I was doing me karate and I was doing me forms, I used to do this wax on, wax off, the forms, right? And all that kind of. There was never a point where I was going to get into a ring with somebody else. No, it wasn't going to happen because I'm a weasel. Well, it's not going to happen. I wouldn't want my daughter then aspiring to be sort of 25 years of age, a professional boxer, where her intention is to walk into a ring and to avoid being knocked unconscious, because that is the purpose of boxing.
No, that's not correct.
Now, hold on. I've just had the middleweight champion of the country on the air a few minutes ago, and he told me himself, in his own words, when he goes into a boxing ring, the idea is to knock the other person out before the fight goes on too long.
No, and
he's had six knockouts, by the way. He's sadly he lost his last 2 fights, but up to that point he's been winning them all, and he's had 6 knockouts. The man is a boxing legend.
Yeah, it's about scoring points, and that the whole thing of getting a knockout. You don't go into a ring to get a knockout.
You do. You do. No, in not an amateur, but in professional level, you do.
Yeah, no, you what you're there is you're there to score points.
Okay.
You're trying to avoid giving away points and that, but to get a knockout.
Hold on for a second. In Gary's last big fight, now I know he had a fight in Castlebar there recently, right? But in his last big fight in the Barclays Centre in New York, which was back in 2022, Isla Landy Lara was his name. I'm looking at it here. Okay, he lost by technical knockout. He got into that ring, and I don't even have to ask Gary this. I could bring him back on and ask him. And his intention in those 12 rounds was to knock him out in the first round so it didn't go any further. That's his intention. To get the prize money. He just wants the prize money, knock the guy out, rather than it go 12 rounds and risk being knocked out. His intention is, get in there, the quicker I can put him down onto the ground, the better.
Well, look, everyone has their own thing, but that's not the overall opinion. You're only. So
no, hold on. That's not my opinion. That's Gary Sullivan's, Spike Sullivan's.
Oh, okay.
That's his opinion. Okay. He said at the start. That's his intention. Yeah. And any professional boxer will tell you the same thing when you're at that level. You don't want the fight to go on for 12 rounds. You want to knock them out. Stay there for a second. Stay there. Stay there. Let me go to Morris. Morris, hi. How are you?
Ex-army boxer here. How can I help you?
Ding, ding. Round 2. Round 2. Yeah, I'm going to put you in the ring with Jackie here. Go on.
If an 8-year-old, if an 8-year-old come up to me and said, "Daddy and Mommy, I want to be a boxer like role model Kellie Harrington," why would you quash a child's dream? Let her go. Let her have a go. If she likes it, she likes it. If she doesn't, she walk away and try something else. She's 8 years of age and she's come to them and said, "I would like to do that." Now, that's a child that's tuned in and knows what it wants to do. Forget about listen, don't be mixing up professional boxing with amateur boxing. You've seen in the Olympics how protected they are with the gloves and with the headgear. And they're taught that professionally. Like, I'll give you an example, Niall. Kellie Harrington's previous fight, the Brazilian girl, she was a professional who broke away from a professional contract in England, and she's allowed to come back into amateur to try and win a gold medal. She's signed to a promoter in England. She's professional. And Kellie Harrington, as a fully blown amateur, beat a professional in amateur ranks that was allowed to come back. I don't think that's fair. But she proved how good she is. So if you have a child of 8 years of age, boy or girl, that's looking at that woman who spent 20 years chasing 2 gold medals. She walked into a gym in the north side of Dublin and said, "I want to box" at 14 years of age. And look at the dedication of the last 20 years. She's an ambassador for women. She's an ambassador for girls and boys in the country. And what did she do when she won her gold medal the next day? The first thing she did was she went into an old folks' home beside the gym in Paris and showed all the old people her medal. because that's our work environment when she's here in Ireland. She works in an old folks' home. So.
No, but Morris, I'm not having a go at Kelly or Katie. Well done to them. And it's great. I'm sure the country's extremely proud of them, and they're wonderful athletes, right? I'm not having a go.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't want my daughter in a ring boxing the head off somebody or having her head boxed in. I wouldn't want.
And what if your daughter turned around to you in 20 years' time and said, "Dad, why did you not let me go boxing? You crushed me."
Because I care about you. That's why I didn't let you go boxing. Because I care about you.
Yeah, but you didn't care about me enough to let me try and follow my dream, Dad. You didn't care enough about me to try and follow my dream. You stopped me because you didn't like it.
Ah, you
yeah, exactly. But anyway, listen, Niall.
Yeah.
What I'd say to you is, right?
Yeah.
Professional boxing and amateur boxing is totally different.
Oh, I know that. I'm well aware of that.
What I hope Kelly does, right? I hope Kelly goes into the high performance unit where Bernard Dunn is, the guy that commentates on the boxing. He's a professional as well. He went into the high performance unit and he's responsible for all the boxers coming out of there. I think Kelly has a lot to give back to this country, and she loves this country with her heart and every ounce of her body.
I know she does.
And I heard her parents being criticised. Why don't you go over and watch her boxing? Her mother can't stand to watch her boxing. That'll tell you.
But isn't this what I'm saying to you? This woman who wrote in the message to us said she doesn't want her 8-year-old boxing. I understand completely why she doesn't. Just like Kellie Harrington's mother doesn't. Yeah.
But don't crush the child's dream because.
But that's your job. Your job is to protect your child.
Not at all. You let her try it and say, "Well, what do you think?" "Oh no, I don't like it, man." Rather than turning around and going, "Yeah, you wouldn't let me live me dream the last time."
You wouldn't let me get into a ring and box the head off somebody. Yeah.
No, don't be thinking the violence into it. They're trying to outpoint each other.
But it is. I would just stop. It is. But whatever way you want to put it, it is violent. Of course, it's violent.
Yeah, and I watched that fight that you mentioned, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey tripped your woman up, crashed her on the ground. Her body weight knocked your woman out. She gave her 4 digs in the head, and the referee stepped in. Because I understand the boxing. You just saw violence and viciousness.
Yeah,
I understand the game.
Look, you've seen Ronda Rousey. The girl's an animal.
Yeah. She's professional. But look at Niall, you watched the Gladiator movie and you seen them killing each other and cutting each other up and cutting their heads off.
I would just stop it.
Well, gladiators, they fight for their life.
But here's the thing, right? If we see travellers fighting out in the field, right, we give out about it. We say, look at that, bleeding barbaric animals. Look at them. Look at what are they up to. What we're doing is no different. The only difference is they have gloves on. They're in a ring and we're paying to see it.
No.
There's no difference.
Totally missing the point.
There's no difference.
Niall, there'll just be 50 to 100,000 euro riding on those bare knuckle fights in the traveller community. That's been done for money and financial gain. 50 to 100,000 is the bag.
Yeah, but hold on. Every boxer who's an amateur, I imagine most of them, at some point would like to be professional, where they get the big prize money. Everyone.
Like Barry McGuigan, another role model. Like Michael Conlon, another role model. Great fighters. Well, I'll tell you one thing I was disappointed with in the contribution today. I was very saddened, and I thought Angela was very wrong to say she didn't like watching women's rugby. Women and men are equal, and they can do equal sports.
I wouldn't agree they're equal.
Because you know why?
They're not
because
equal.
They're good at it.
Now, hang on. Here, let me tell you something, right? Okay, to defend Angela and what she said, right? Now, I'm as you all know, I have no interest in sport. My father would roll in his grave, right? Because my father was secretary of the FAI. He was obsessed with rugby and football and everything, GAA, everything, right?
Referee.
An international referee. He refereed in the World Cup. My father was everything about sport. My father epitomised. And I hated it. Yeah. So I don't think he was very pleased with me from that point of view, right? He'd be rolling in his grave. But anyway, here's the point. They used to put the women's rugby in the Aviva Stadium, or Lansdowne Road as it used to be called at the time when women's rugby started first. The women's rugby match would be on after the men's, right? But what happened was, as soon as the men's was over, everyone would leave and there'd be nobody left at the stadium to watch the women's. So then what they had to start doing was putting the women's on first. And the idea was hopefully some people would be there to see it. And then people started coming later, right? Now, I've no issue with women's rugby. I know nothing about rugby. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about it.
Well, I do.
But from what I'm told from people who support rugby, women's rugby and men's rugby is completely different. That women's rugby is.
I wouldn't not watch a match because a woman is playing in it.
No, I'm not saying I wouldn't watch it either way if there was men or women playing it. So it doesn't bother me in the either way. But from people I know who are rugby fans,
men's rugby is wrong.
Well, people I know who are rugby fans say, I wouldn't be interested. I know lads who are rugby fans and they say I wouldn't watch women play rugby. And
anyway, let the 8-year-old try it and get the woman to come back to you. Say, let your husband go with her, see if she likes it, and get her to come back on and get another message off her.
Okay, well, hold on, both you sporty people there. Thank you, Morris. Jackie, stay with me, will you, please?
Cheers.
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
Yeah. Okay. Let me go to Maureen. Maureen, hi. How are you?
Hi, Niall. How are you?
There you go. Jackie's a big fan. Jackie Chan, the big fan. And Jackie thinks there's no harm in it. It's competitive, Maureen.
Well, I certainly wouldn't allow. If I was at the age now where my daughter were young, I wouldn't allow them box. My grandchildren aren't allowed to box either. Now, my eldest granddaughter, she has done taekwondo. She plays hockey. They go swimming every week.
Yeah.
My grandson plays soccer and chess. He's joined a chess club.
Yeah, chess is a good sport.
Yeah, and tonight he loves it, and I encourage him.
No, I love chess. I like an elegant chess.
I say to him, you might be a grandmaster one of these days, and I play chess.
Probably playing against some big Russian or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he's often at a game with me, but they go swimming. They certainly wouldn't be allowed in a boxing ring, and that's for sure.
Yeah.
But do you remember years and years ago when even the like of Muhammad Ali and them, or what they called the boxers in that time, punch drunk.
Punch drunk, yeah.
Yeah. You remember the boxers that ended up punch drunk?
Oh yeah, sure. Some of them have died. A punch to the head. They could be dead.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Jackie doesn't mind. He's into that. That's his thing.
No, but you see, you're going on the professional or the more advanced end of things. But where you've an 8-year-old that's going to go in and start learning, how to box and the discipline, the whole lot. That if they go on further, that's their choice, and they are protected. The headgear. All the safety stuff that's involved is amazing. Like, so I don't see where you're saying okay, the likes of Muhammad Ali and that's a different level.
But that's like, hold on, that's like saying kids schoolboy football is not the same as professional football. It is. They all aspire to be there. That's the whole point, Jackie. Why would you start a sport if you don't want to aspire to be the best?
No, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, but the thing is, if an 8-year-old comes along to you and says, "Look, I want to try a bit of boxing, or I want to do it, some form of be it taekwondo, kempo, anything, judo," they should be allowed to do it because it's not going to cause any damage or that to that person because the safety stuff is so. Is so that
you might say that.
In the last 10 years, by the way, 7 professional boxers have died in the ring.
But it's all right to say that. It's all right to
one
say
died here actually.
Right?
Yeah.
But years down the line, you don't know what damage has been done to the brain, protective gear or not. And
but that's another point. If you have going out playing soccer or whatever, and you're heading the ball, and then with the rugby and the contact,
playing soccer, playing rugby. You do not go to make contact with the other player. You're making contact with a ball.
Okay, but I'll tell you.
You're not going out to bash the head off the soccer player.
Although it does happen.
My son was playing rugby and he ended up in hospital with concussion.
I know it. No, don't get me wrong. Jackie, rugby is a contact sport to some degree, and that can happen. But the intention in rugby is not to attack the other player. It's to get the ball, right? Or get the ball between the two bars.
Oh, well.
Yeah, so it's not the intention.
Yeah, well, no, it is the intention to get the person to get the ball.
To take them down. The person who has the ball, you have to take them down. Yeah, I know, I get that. But when you take them down, you don't continue to punch them. What I'm saying is, your intention is not to hurt the other person. In boxing, your intention, if you get to a professional level, which everybody aspires to do,
professional.
Yeah, your intention is to hurt the other person.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen them there? Split eyes and split lips and
busted noses.
Why would you do it like?
Your daughter going around, your beautiful daughter, Jackie, with a broken nose. Lovely.
Split lips, yes. Yeah. Oh, I think it's awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing, again, going back to, where you were saying our role as parents is to protect our kids, but our role as parents is to have them to be able to protect themselves.
Well, hang on both of you. No, hang on both of you, because I want to bring Alva in as well. Alva, hi, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Okay, you have a 7-year-old, and there's no way you'd let her go to a boxing club.
No, absolutely not. And you know what? My older son did do boxing a couple of years ago. He was 7. And I don't know, I couldn't really fathom the idea of it. And he actually eventually didn't enjoy it himself. But my daughter, had said, can I do it? And I said, well, you're not old enough yet. And now she is old enough to begin in the local boxing club. But I just don't agree with the idea of little kids going into this and even just to learn. I don't want them even learning what it's about.
Yeah, you're kind of, maybe I'm wrong. You're not teaching them aggression. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'd be thinking.
Yeah, and I just feel like the idea, now I like the idea of the community. The building there is for the community kids and they all come together and everything. But I mean, we have that with football, basketball, their little youth clubs and stuff. I just don't see the need for boxing. Now, don't come at me because I know there's a huge groups and loads of clubs. Boxing is in their blood. But I just don't think for little girls and little boys at that age, it's just too young.
Mm. And by the way, Jackie, can I also say there's a bit of an elephant in the room here, which I haven't mentioned, right?
Oh.
Okay. It's there's a class thing here, isn't it?
What?
Oh, no, let's be honest, okay? You primarily will see boxing clubs in working class areas. There is more boxing clubs in work. That's just a fact, statistically. So there's a kind of an element of wanting kids to have discipline who may not already have discipline. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, I can only speak because I'm down.
I was in a boxing club recently. And I was talking to a fella, and he was a trainer, and he was saying he had all the pictures on the wall, and he was going, yeah, some great boxers we've had through the club here over the years. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, he was shot. He's in jail. Yeah, he was shot. Yeah, he's in jail. Yeah, I go, you know what I mean? There's a bit of an element of that to it too, Jackie, isn't there? Sorry to be a snob about the whole thing here.
Well, look, again, you're the other side of the M50. I'm the opposite side of the M50. So I live in a different world altogether. So I'm only looking at different towns and rural areas that have boxing clubs that is nothing got to do with class.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean,
nothing got to do with
look at Conor McGregor. He's such a wonderful role model, isn't he? Just saying.
Well, he is to some.
Would you stop out of that?
Yeah, 100% he is, because there will be kids going, I want to get to where I want his money, I want his yacht, I want his
money, I want his yacht. but
you have that already. You have that.
I wish I had the money and the yacht. I mean, look, Alva's right. Your little princess, 7 years of age, Alva's daughter. She doesn't want to see her thrown into a ring with a headgear on her and some other young one knocking the head off her. That's not what she wants. That's not why you have children.
It's not like, you see, you're
but you stop saying it's not like that. It is.
It's not that extreme. No, it's not. It's not, because you need to go out and experience it and then come back and say, right, no, okay, it's not as vicious. It's all very controlled. It's right up along as they get older, then it becomes a bit more aggressive or whatever, if you want to say that. But as an 8-year-old up, and I know, like, I've been
there. But it's too late. You've already got them hooked on it then at that stage, but you've encouraged them to do it. By the way, Alva, has your 7-year-old expressed an interest in wanting to box?
She used to when we were dropping over, her brother. But I don't really think she had any idea of what actually goes on inside. And, to be honest, I wouldn't want her to know. And I wouldn't ever want her to see boxing on the TV even, because I think the idea of it, like, if you think about it, like, where did this come from? And who came up with the idea of putting girls or boys in a ring boxing? I'm
assuming it's like the Romans in the Colosseum or something like that, I'm assuming. Yeah. It does go back a long way, where people fought for honour and all that kind of stuff. But
if you see two people outside the pub on a Saturday night boxing, it would be totally inappropriate.
Yeah. But yet it's okay to pay to see them doing it in a ring. Alva.
It's in a controlled environment. Controlled environment.
What's controlled about it? But at a professional level, what's apart from the fact there's a referee there?
Yeah, but outside a bar or whatever, that's a different. That's
no. One of your mates is usually the referee. He'll jump in if it gets too serious. Alva, am I being a complete and utter sexist pig by saying, as much as I hate boxing in all forms, and I'm not just not into boxing at all, I think personally I believe it's barbaric, right? I don't believe it's a sport. But am I being completely sexist by saying that I think it's even worse for women?
I agree with you, and if that makes me sexist, okay. But I think it's worse for girls to be doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's loads of other sports that we can be doing. You know, there's musical instruments. There's even like soccer is okay too. You know, basketball is great.
Yeah, camogie.
Yeah. We don't need to be boxing.
Yeah, you don't need... Jackie, Alva's just summed it up. You don't need to be boxing. There's loads of wonderful sports where young girls and boys can, learn a discipline and learn to be athletic and it's good for their health as well. A bit of outdoors and a bit of fresh air, Good for them. Tennis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Swimming.
Yeah.
If someone wants to do something, why are you not allowing them? Is that not wrong in its own
But
way?
listen, now you're saying if they don't want to do something, you're not allowing them. If my daughter said to me, I want to be a man, no, I'm not allowing you. As a parent, you have to say, no, you're not doing it, and that's that.
I'm glad to hear you say that, by the way, yeah. Yeah,
you can't just do something because they want to do it.
Yeah, I wanted to be the Hulk when I was 9, Jackie. My father didn't spray me green and inject me with steroids. You know what I mean? You, just because your child wants to do something, your job as a parent is to protect your child. If your child says, "Hey, Dad, I want to jump out of a plane on a parachute," would you let them? Yeah. No, you wouldn't.
Yes, of course I would. I'd be there with them. I'd be. But the thing is that's life.
I want to rock climb.
Yeah.
No.
You want your kids to see, every side as much as possible of experience life in general of so many things. And why would you stop them doing?
No, my son when he was young wanted to do motocross racing because I was actually a motocross racer, right? I was an Irish champion sidecar racer, right, when I was younger, right?
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So at least I did something useful. Yeah. Anyway, but he wanted to do it, and I completely put him off it. Because I know how dangerous it is. Most people break their collarbones, their legs, their arms. You know what I mean? So I put him off it. And he didn't do it. Thankfully, he never went on to do it because I put him off it.
Yeah, and then you take horse riding. Would you stop your child?
Yeah. My daughter wanted to do horse riding. I put her off that too. Sorry. Because I've heard of so many people falling off horses and ending up paralysed.
Yeah. Well, no, again, that's extreme. Look, you fall off a bicycle and you can end up being paralysed.
That's not the same as a horse.
You can cross the road and get hit by a bus.
Yeah, maybe I was an overprotective parent or something, Jackie. Maybe just I was. So. Yeah, if your child, Jackie, if your child wants to join a gun club, would you let them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your job, Alva's right. Your job is to protect your child and do whatever you think as a parent is right. You're not perfect. You'll make mistakes.
No, but I think you have that wrong. You keep saying that our job is as parents, for our children to experience as much of life as possible.
Safely.
Not try and shut it. Yeah, safely, but and not try and close off because of our own issues.
Okay, now hang on. Stay there, Alva. Let me go to Karen. I want Alva to save me there. Karen, hi.
Hi, Niall. How are you?
Good. You heard Alva. She wouldn't be letting her daughter do it. She wouldn't even let her daughter when it goes on in the building.
Yeah, no. Look, I'm with Morris there that was on a few moments ago. I will be completely on the same page as Morris today.
Okay.
There's an 8-year-old girl looking at Kellie Harrington. Like I'm sure a couple of years ago, back to 2012... when I went to, her name, say it for me.
Who? Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor.
Katie Taylor, thank you, yes. And I'm sure she probably inspired many young girls to get into the ring.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, exactly. And look, if that's in you, it's in you. One 8-year-old girl can look at Kellie Harrington the other day and think nothing. Another 8-year-old girl looks at it and think, oh my God, I want to be like her. And if she's an 8-year-old girl, if she wants to join a local boxing club, I would let her off. As long as she's safe in a secure environment and she's sparring and boxing and training with girls her own age and a similar body, weight, etc., I'd let her off. Why? Why not let the child do it?
Because it's dangerous.
Well, look, I mean, at 8 years of age, I don't think so. But
it may not be at 8 years of age, and I'm sure the trainers are very good and they keep them very safe, right? But here's the thing. The whole idea of a sport or getting into any sport is to be the best, to get to the top, right? So a little boy wants to be a footballer, eventually wants to play for Man United or Ireland, right?
But again, on that point,
I'm just saying,
how many of them actually get to the top?
So
but on that point, when you look at all the
very few
sports out
very
there,
few,
very few.
But it doesn't matter.
We have the Olympics.
But hang on. So there you are, and then all of a sudden she's 17 years of age, not 8 anymore, and you encouraged her, and now she's 17 or 18, and she's in the ring, and it gets more serious. These are adults now. And she's getting thumped in the head, and you're sitting there at the side of the ring saying, I could have stopped this when she was 8.
Yeah, but if she's pursuing her dream and she's at the level of Kellie Harrington, I would support her as her mother. I would support her. And if you look at the Kellie Harrington as well, they have helmets on. They wear protective
That's only in
gear.
amateur boxing, yeah. Once they're professional, they take them off.
Oh, look, yeah, and if she goes down, like if Kellie Harrington decides to go down the route of professional and she wants to make a shitload of money now, I mean, it's going to be a completely different sport to her. But let her off. She's a grown woman, first of all, anyway.
Well, no, if you're a grown champion. If somebody's 18 years of age, do what you want. But I'm talking about a child, your child. Because, I know you've 2 daughters, haven't you, Karen? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and if one of them, look, both my girls are not interested in boxing. They're not sporty at all, actually. So maybe I don't have to deal with this. And maybe if I was confronted, but if my 14-year-old said to me, Mum, I want to try boxing, I'd let her off. If she went into the local boxing club, as long as it was safe, as in a controlled environment. Now, if it was something like she was going down and bare knuckle in an underground fight, where, it's all bets are off. Jesus Christ almighty, no.
Bets are off.
I'd be locking the doors and the key, she wouldn't be getting able to get out of the house.
So there you go, Alvin. But Karen believes you should encourage them to follow their dreams. Yeah.
You know what? I'm all for supporting your child, obviously. But I don't know. Do you know what? Maybe I'm a bit of a snob about it. I feel like maybe it's not very, dignified or graceful.
Ladylike.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
But now, if she said to me tomorrow, genuinely, if she said to me tomorrow, which she won't because she's not sporty, that she wanted to join the boxing club, I'd say, listen, give it a go, give it a try. Like, I'm not totally crazy. I'd let her look at it and maybe have a go. But I wouldn't have boxing on the TV. Like, I wouldn't want her to see what it actually means to box a person in a ring with an audience, making money. Like, people are making money from it, from watching someone box the head of another person. And I'm kind of coming from the side where I'm okay with it if it's a completely safe kind of training discipline sport for just the kids, but no boxing each other. I just don't agree that they should be boxing other people.
Well, I agree that in the ring it should be like if in the local boxing club, as long as you have trusted people there that keep them in their categories, that they're sparring and training physically with their own size, age, etc. I have no problem with it. And look, you might find that little 8-year-old girl. I would go with the dad in that scenario. The mama said, no, keep her out of it. Let her off. She's 8 years old. She's a young child. She might do it in 2 months down the road. Something's not for me. Perfect. But at least she's tried it. It's not for her. Or maybe, just maybe, she might be the next Kellie Harrington.
Oh, would you want your daughter to be the next Kellie Harrington? I mean, with the greatest respect to Kellie Harrington, and well done to Kellie. Just say it again in case someone thinks I'm sour grapes here, right? I wouldn't want my daughter to be the next Kellie Harrington. I don't want my daughter, in a ring, boxing the head off someone else and somebody else boxing the head off her. That's not what I aspire my daughter, or the aspirations I'd have for my daughter. I wouldn't want that.
Well, I mean, look, when your daughter is born and you have your little bundle of joy in your hand, the last thing you'll be thinking of, oh God, I can't wait for her to be having a Olympic medal, and a boxing gloves on her. That's the last thing you're thinking of.
But you know what?
All the dreams and aspirations.
Go on, I think it's important though to show to show the options that are out there for the kids. For example, I, as a kid, loved the idea of Irish dancing and river dance, and I'm always showing my 7-year-old river dance, and she hasn't a clue what's happening. She thinks it's so alien. But I would still love for her to just see the options that are out there. It's sporty, it's physical, it's, she can make money from it one day, but just to have the interest and the knowledge of what else is out there that she could do. But boxing is not one of those choices, I'm afraid.
But I'm sure the child is. I'm sure this in this scenario that what we're discussing today, the 8-year-old girl, I'm sure she has been exposed to Irish dancing. She's probably in the local school where she's doing a bit of camogie, where she's doing a little bit of football. She probably is involved in local community stuff anyway.
But that's great, by the way. Camogie, football, all those things.
Swimming.
Yeah, Karen, they're all great. Swimming, camogie, football, they're all great. Yes. Yeah, but the intention of all those sports is not to chase after the other player and box the head off them.
It's a physical sport, but I mean, two 8-year-old girls sparring in a ring, I don't see a problem with it.
Okay. Well, hang on both of you there for a second. Let me go to Lorenzo.
You have a girl that's been bullied. Yeah. I think it might help her with her confidence, grow her confidence and everything else.
So somebody just sent a text. Somebody sent a text says, Niall, you and Alva are sexist. Okay, fair enough. I'm okay. I'll take that. Let me go to Lorenzo. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Niall. How good are you?
Good. Lorenzo, would you want your daughter in a boxing ring?
I think I would let her try, honestly, because, as they were saying, if she wants to do it, try it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But then if she wants to go on and try to get better, it's a sport as another. So I know the danger behind it, because I've done 5 years of self-defense and 1 year of boxing as well. And even for that reason, I want to point out that I don't remember the name of the man that was saying that, if she does boxing, then she can defend herself. Self-defense and boxing are totally different.
Of course they are. I said that guy. That was Jackie earlier. Yeah. And by the way, I think it's really important that every child, particularly young girls in the world that we live in, unfortunately, know how to defend themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. But to defend yourself legally.
Yeah. And how to carry a can of pepper spray in your bag. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the pepper spray is allowed.
I know, but technically it's not. It's technically illegal, but I know a lot of women do carry it anyway.
I'm saying this because I don't know the Irish law, but in Italy it's legal.
No, it's illegal in this country, but a lot of women do carry pepper spray in their bag.
Okay.
But it is illegal. It actually comes under firearms legislation, surprisingly enough.
Okay. That's fine.
I don't think anyone has ever been charged with it, or I can't imagine a judge is going to send, Alva to jail because she happened to have a small thing of pepper spray or mace gas in her bag, to protect herself. So I can't imagine that would ever happen. But it is technically illegal, so I have to obviously say that. But sorry, getting back to the boxing, you heard Alva say it, she's a little girl, take up swimming, Irish dancing, I don't know, tennis, camogie. There's loads of sports out there where the aim of the sport is not to box the head off the other person or get your head boxed in. Why would you want to encourage that for your own child? Your job as a parent is to protect them.
It's to get them experienced in a safe way, not to protect, because you can't protect them 24 hours. You were saying about motocross. You pulled out, but if the girls say, I want to do motocross.
No, I put them off it. I don't get me wrong. I feel so sorry for my mother, because my mother, every time on a Sunday when I went out motocross racing, my mother worried sick that I wouldn't come home. She was terrified. And we didn't have mobile phones in those days, so she could check to see if I was all right or if I won or whatever. And she would never have gone to see me motocross racing. And I regret to this day that I actually put that worry on her, because, I just really regret it. But I would never have allowed my children to do motocross racing. Never.
But, my mother, she came once to see a rugby match, and then she said, no, it's not for me. I can't come. It's too dangerous for rugby.
No, and rugby can be a dangerous sport, but the intention in rugby, of course, is obviously to get the ball. Stay there for a second. Alva, please stay with me. Let me go to Jonathan. Mm-hmm. Jonathan, you train young people boxing.
Good afternoon. I do 3 nights a week.
A good man yourself, yeah. Rather you than
And
me,
I
I
have
wouldn't.
my daughter is in it, and the young lad's in it, and they both love it. And my young one will be going next year.
Yeah, Alva won't be. Just let you know, you won't be getting another member from Alva. Her daughter won't be going.
Listen, no, you're getting all hyperbolic about this, right? It's amateur boxing you're talking about. You're getting hyperbolic about it. You're running away. It's amateur boxing. And look, you teach them how to defend themselves in a boxing ring too, no?
No, I know. No, I think self-defense is really important.
And again, look, and listen, again, nobody's going in lumping the head off each other. You're watching your boxing. If your boxer's been outclassed in a fight, you don't let the fight continue. You stop the fight. He's being outclassed. You don't let any fighter stand there and get the head boxed off them.
Yeah, go for it, Alan.
Do you know what, though? Sorry to interrupt. I just think, like, we're teaching our kids from a young age not to ever put their hands on another human. Like, that it's so wrong and so out of order. So how are you able to teach them that it's okay?
And we teach our kids in the boxing club. What they learn in the boxing club is for the boxing ring and the boxing ring only.
Yeah, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
At the same time, if they're ever out and about and someone physically hits them or physically gets in their space, and at least they have a little bit of backup there. And like I said before, I'd rather my young one throw one solid punch and be on her toes, not hang around throwing slaps and getting into the middle of it. I'd rather she know to throw one proper punch and be on her toes, run away from it. She plays GAA, she goes swimming, she plays music, she loves her boxing.
Yeah, they're all lovely.
It's a good social network for them as well, and it's a good thing to get kids to do.
Yeah, good social network of meeting a load of other people who like punching the heads off each other. Yeah.
Again, there you go again, Noel, hyperbolic head. Nobody's standing there punching the head off each other. Yeah, being ridiculous.
But now, be honest, Jonathan.
Be honest.
Okay, no, hang on. I'm going to ask you a question here. The aim of everybody who starts out boxing, right? The aim is to be the best, to be famous, to someday maybe be professional,
no,
like Katie Taylor or whoever.
No, I don't agree with that, because I was boxing anyway, and then my young one wanted to come with me.
Did you box? Did you box all your life?
I did box. I boxed not all my life. I boxed a kid and I gave her up for a couple of years there. You know, you find other interest and you go a bit off the rails.
Did you get your nose broke?
I got smacked around a few times. I did. I got beaten up, but that's part of life. I don't mind that.
It's not going to be part of my child's life.
But again, look, this is the thing, right?
I got smacked around a bit.
You all take notes. Look, your mother and my mother probably hit us harder than we get hit in the boxing ring.
She probably did, actually.
You know that kind of way. No, come on, you're being hyperbolic about it. Amateur boxing is very different to professional boxing. You know, you're being all running away with yourself there. I'm not going to let my boxer into a ring with anybody and stand there watching them get beaten. No, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm there to protect my boxer. If someone there is of a better standard than my boxer, I say, sorry, this is finished. We're not doing any more of this. No, she's just better than her.
And at the moment with the young kids, what's the percentage of girls versus boys? Is it still more boys than girls?
I'd say at the minute where we are now, in the younger ones especially, the older group, okay, it's about two thirds to the boys and a third of the girls. But in the younger group, it's about 50-50.
See, Alva, they get more and more of them want to do it, Alva. She'd be asking.
Do you know what? I don't mind if they're doing it for maybe a year or two at that age, just for something to do, a social activity. After that, like, I definitely don't think as they grow up that should be something that they're doing for life.
Yeah.
But again, what happens, right? So you go in for a year or two, and it turns out that your young one is just brilliant. She knows how to handle herself. Her footwork is beautiful. Everything she does in a boxing ring or around boxing is just beautiful. Look, you look at Kellie Harrington there, for example, right? Now, I looked at Kellie Harrington fighting the other night, and I thought, what a beautiful boxer she is. Not aggressive. The way she moved, the way she shifted from side to side and throwing up punches and getting out of the way of punches and defending herself. I thought it was beautiful to look at.
Beautiful.
I thought it was beautiful.
I wouldn't have used the word beautiful, but however, yeah.
The way, again, then we look at it different, because I'm looking at the way she's moving in the ring. I'm looking at how I'm watching everything she's doing, and I thought it was a beautiful performance of her.
Beautiful.
She was out of her skin, she boxed.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. She's looked naturally gifted at that sport now. You can tell by looking at her.
Me and you, Jonathan, are very different. I can't look at two people in a ring punching the head off each other and use the word beautiful. It just doesn't come into my vocabulary at all when I'm watching it.
Well, I do, because I think the movement, I was like, again, okay, it's a mindset.
What a punch in the head. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
But again, look, she went in, like the man said before, with a boxer that came out of the professional ranks to drop down into that, and she beat her. So, that's how gifted that girl is at what she does.
Yeah, but you look at the fight the other night there that ended in 45 seconds where the lad... where the lad punched the girl.
Wouldn't be allowed to happen. I wouldn't allow my female boxers to go in and fight a male boxer. Now, whatever about the sparring, you're in the club again, they're the same.
But the Olympics let it happen, didn't they?
But that's a sham, Niall. It's like the swimming in America with your man Leah Thomas. It's the same thing. It's ridiculous to ask women to compete with these people.
Yeah, I'm going into female boxing tomorrow, right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to identify as Nolene Boylan, the boxer.
Well, no, that's taking it towards that's the extreme, Niall. That's the extreme. That's where the extreme is. You know, it's like you're talking about Conor McGregor. Now, there's a bloke in the MMA fighting girls, and it's atrocious. I don't know why Dana White allowed it to happen. It shouldn't be allowed.
There's a bloke in the female MMA.
Yeah. Again, that's extreme. You can't be having that nonsense.
No,
it's ridiculous, and it shouldn't be happening.
The same way, I'm assuming, with the kids boxing, you don't let little lads fight against little girls, do you?
In the gym, we do know, because you can control that. Like I said, I'm not going to let my lad there. If a girl comes in tomorrow, say, and he's there 6 months, she's not going sparring for months. She's not going into that ring for months till she knows how to hold her hands up, till she knows how to move her feet, till she knows. And then
but Alva's right. Would you not just encourage your little girl to play tennis or Irish dancing or something?
She plays tennis. She plays GAA. She plays music. She does drama. She does singing and dancing. She does all of it. And she does boxing.
But you know what? That's what I'm saying. There's so many other things you could be doing than boxing. And to be honest, I think boxing should be just banned altogether. And who says it's a good thing to be boxing each other?
If I tell her there's no boxing on forever, like the club closed down there, down to one night a week, and she got a bit disappointed. You know, she's friends in that boxing club she enjoys seeing. She likes to go boxing.
No, I'm kind of with Alva. It would be no loss if they banned it tomorrow. I don't think.
But is karate not the same kind of discipline? You know.
I'd rather have a disappointed child than a brain damaged child. You know what I mean?
Again, there you go again. Brain damage. It's amateur boxing.
But they all aspire to be professional.
No, again, they don't all aspire to be professional. My young one has no intention of being a professional boxer.
And that's because she's only... How old did she say she was?
12.
She has some clue at this stage. She's only 12. But if she gets older, and if she gets better and good at it, she might want to be professional.
And if I think she's progressing to that stage, I go along with her.
And you telling me, Jonathan, right? Let's say she's 22 or 23 and she's doing really well. She's got over to the Olympics already, maybe got a bronze, come back, and then she's decided to go pro, right? She's 23 or 24. Yeah. Are you telling me, as a father, Jonathan, you could sit there in the side of the ring, ringside, watching your daughter with no headgear on, a professional, getting her head boxed in?
No, I wouldn't stand there letting her get her head boxed in. Well, there you go again.
Or boxing somebody else's head in.
Well, that's different. She's not getting hit. It's up to the other coach to protect their box. It's up to me to protect mine. If my child is there getting beaten up, I stop that fight.
Running into the corner and taking the water, spitting it out, and stitching her top of her eyebrow up as it bleeds down.
If I think it's getting to the point where she's been outdone, I stop that fight. That's my responsibility.
We don't even throw Christians to the lions anymore. That's not something we do. But stay there for a second, John. Dave, hi, Dave.
Jesus, yeah, throwing Christians to the lions and boxing, there's a real correlation there between the two of them.
Isn't that where they all originated from? Probably Roman times, people fighting for honour, gladiators.
Yeah, feeding Christians to lions and boxing, that's what it evolved out of. I think, you should identify as a woman, because I tell you, you're just as dramatic as they can be sometimes, you know that?
I'm with Alva. I'm with Alva 100% on this one here.
I think
me and Alva are sparring here. You know that? What? Sorry?
I think you should go into ladies boxing, because it'd be brilliant to see you get the head punched off.
Myself and Alva are intellectually sparring everybody here today. So Dave, you've got two little boys, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay,
I do.
Yeah, well, it's kind of... I know this is fierce sexist, but it is different for boys. I still wouldn't want my little boy in it, by the way, but it is different.
No, it is. It's because everybody wants their little girls little wallflowers and play hopscotch and do needlepoint and petty point and all that kind of stuff, and in their petticoats and all that. Yeah. No, to be fair, I like, for me to be more the self-defense aspect of it. Even if I had a little girl and she wanted to go into something like boxing or kickboxing or karate, I wouldn't have an issue with it. It'd be grand to have your little princess, but if somebody tries to mess with your little princess, she can knock them on their arse. That's where I'd be coming from. But no, I don't. And like, every kid that goes into kickboxing or boxing wants to go professional it's not true. They might look up and they might aspire to be as good as the professionals, but I know loads of people who do martial arts and stuff like that, and they don't compete. They do it for the fitness aspect of it. They do it for the community they've become a part of, and they do it for the fitness of it as well. And also, there is the idea that if somebody tries to start a fight with you, you're not going to stand there swinging punches and not knowing what you're doing. You're going to be able to put them on their arse before things get really, really bad. So I don't really see...
What's all this aggression in the world? I mean, all this aggression... I understand we live in a weird world. It can be a dangerous world, particularly for young women at the moment as well. It can be a problem too, right? And everybody should know a little bit of self-defense. But Dave, I haven't been in a fight since I was 13 years of age. The lad's name was...
Neither have I.
Conor Malone was his name. The two of us were dragged down the back of the lane of the school because the rest of them wanted us to fight for some reason. And he won. In 5 minutes, he grabbed me by the hair, threw me on the ground. I start crying, and that was the end of the fight. I haven't hit somebody or been hit since I was 13 years of age. How did I avoid it for so long, and other people just can't?
Because you're like me, Niall. You're better with your mouth than you are with your fists. I'd say you're able to talk yourself out of these situations.
Maybe it's just that I'm such a good looking fella that just don't come near me.
Well, you do have a face for radio, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But everybody's making out that it's about aggression and it's about wanting to hurt other people. Like that guy that was talking there. No, but look, you know nothing about boxing. I know nothing about boxing. Right?
I don't need to know very much about it. I just look at it and I know what the game is.
And but for us from the outset, from the outside looking in, we see it's just two people punching the heads off each other. But it's not. There's so much skill involved in it. Like between your footwork to be able to get out of a corner, to be able to dodge punches. There's a lot more that goes into it than two people just one another. So.
But you heard Spike Sullivan at the very start of the show. When he goes into a professional bout, he's middleweight, obviously, he's big time. He goes into a professional bout of 12 rounds, or is it 12 rounds? I think it is. He goes in. The intention is to knock the other person unconscious.
Yeah, of course, and that's the professional aspect of it.
Okay, and you want that for your daughter or son some point in your life?
No, but you see,
something wrong with you. You're all mad. What's the point in having children?
What would you prefer now? Would you just prefer to sit on their arses and play video games all day?
No, I would not.
That's nice.
No, I'm like Alva. Yeah, maybe a bit of Irish dancing, a bit of camogie. Tennis is lovely. Swimming.
Right. Do you know? I have seen people get worse injuries playing GAA. Maybe not Irish dancing, but then I've ever seen than anyone I know of. If you're a guy, you might pull a certain part of your body. No, but genuinely, I've seen lads get way worse injuries playing GAA than anyone I know who's done martial arts and stuff like that. Because when you're doing martial arts or boxing, you're in a controlled environment.
Well, hang on. Sorry, Alva, what other sports do your kids do, by the way?
Ballet.
Ballet, it's lovely, yeah.
But even just in terms of the social aspect, just musical instruments like guitar, tin whistle, things like that. It's still, you're being social, you're getting out of the house. It's not like you're sitting in front of the TV every evening. The kids are busy these days. They're very busy.
Yeah. Dave.
Well, Alva obviously comes from a way more cultured household than the rest of us. They're doing their ballet and playing their music while the rest of us ruffians are beating the shit out of each other.
I know. Do you know what though, Dave? I do agree in one way. You're talking about self-defense, but at the same time, I've always said to the kids, don't ever take shit. Don't ever take shit. But that doesn't involve hitting somebody else.
Yeah, it's not. Alva, just say it out straight. It's not ladylike. Sure, it's not. It really isn't.
No. No.
It's like watching. It's like watching the girl in the pub drinking out of a pint glass. Do you know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah.
Are you serious? You've a problem with women drinking pints now as well, do you?
I do.
It just isn't ladylike.
Are you? No. Oh man, would you go back to the fucking 1950s? Oh, Jesus Christ Almighty! I suppose one of your favourite movies is The Quiet Man by any chance, no?
What was that other one? The Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. I could just imagine you in something like Casablanca or something. I really could.
Yeah, I love all those old movies. Actually, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is one of my favourites.
That's because you're old.
Yeah, I love it. But you know what? I was only watching a video the other day of Dick Van Dyke, who's now 98 years of age. And he was on stage singing The Old Bamboo.
Well, that's impressive. Fair play to Dick.
Yeah. Sorry, I've gone off a tangent now. Hang on, let me go to Jerry-Ann. Jerry-Ann, hi.
Oh, Jesus, I've aged 100 years listening to you now. You're right. You know what you're right about.
Gotta get it with the old bamboo. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Do you know what you said there? You definitely are great at sparring with them out. No, I have to say, listening to Jonathan and Dave there, no, I agree. Now, I don't know, Niall. I reared two great kids, right, and I'm a grandmother now. But I can tell you, if my kids wanted to do boxing, they'd have boxed me around the place to get there.
Oh, so
not literally.
So you'd happily have let them.
Strong-willed. Well, I let them choose what they wanted to do, because I felt like my son was playing rugby and he was playing soccer, he was playing everything. And then I got guys calling to my door telling me that he was in all these leagues and he can't be playing rugby and all these things together. So I said, Grand, I let him choose. And he was a very good player, so I was delighted he dropped the rugby, but I didn't say that to him. Then he had the motorbike. Jesus, that was another one.
Yeah, I know. The motorbike is not a good thing now, I have to be honest now.
Well, I had one myself at 19, so what could I say?
But here's the thing, you keep saying if your kids want to do something, let them do it. That's not the way it works. Alva and me are the only ones with sense in this conversation. Your job as a parent, is to decide what you think is good for them.
Niall, I'm telling you, kids will decide what they want to do. My three granddaughters in America, the three of them have all different interests. They decide, they do between gymnastics, horse riding, I don't know, the whole shebang. And, one of them was playing here in Ireland for San Fran there in the summer. But, so, they're following their little dreams. But there's one thing I cannot stand, and it's when people think that you go into sport to be the best. Because have you ever seen footballers who lose a match? Have they not thought that life isn't about all the time winning? That, a lot of the time
it's about competing. I know. I'm well aware of that. It's about competing. But that's why Alva doesn't want her daughter, obviously, in, this kind of sport, if that's what you want to call it, because she doesn't want to see her being boxed or punched. She wants to protect her daughter.
The reason why I would have, now neither of them did want to do boxing, but the reason why, the discipline, and I think Jonathan would agree, I don't know whether he's still there, the discipline they're taught, their mental health goes spiraling up when they start to have a discipline, to feel that they're in control. There's anxiety in kids that has gone from the discipline. So there's a lot of good things, and I really think now with the likes of Kellie, and fair dues to her. And by the way, she does look like she danced around the ring. Yeah. And I've won for the record. I've seen very
I wouldn't be dancing around the ring with her. Would you dance around the ring with her? I wouldn't.
No, not with the muscles on her.
Sorry, I'm running out of time, Jerry-Ann, but I get the point you're making. Alva, you've been wonderful. Loads of texts coming in here, by the way. Some of them quite nasty, by the way. I wouldn't like Alva to have been my mother as grown up. Yeah. So it says fair play to Alva Niall. She's a straight talking woman. I wouldn't want my children being involved in boxing. And Sandra says, I think women and young girls should be allowed to train for boxing as it will build their self-confidence. I don't understand that. Maybe she means they should be trained, but not actually do it. But Alva, good luck with your children. I know you make a great mother. Well done.
Thank you. Okay, talk to you soon.
See you. Bye. Thank you, Jerry-Ann. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everybody. I'm sorry I run out of time there. I do apologise. Trademark says, by the way, a parent's job is to help their kid find what they're interested in, not to tell them what to be interested in. The most important thing with boxing is to find a professional gym who doesn't let her hard spar until she's much older. I wouldn't be letting her spar at all. Stephen says, I think women should be allowed to participate in whatever they want. Who said they shouldn't, by the way? It's a woman's choice. It's not a woman's choice if she's only 8. It's the parent's choice. If that's her pathway, it's not my choice. I played and coached sports in general. Most athletes in any other sport suffer badly as they age from arthritis, muscular problems. Yeah, but the purpose of other sports is not to punch each other. Sorry, with rugby, the intention is to get the player and to hurt them, to slow them down. No, it's not. If you're playing rugby and you believe your intention is to hurt the other players, well, then you're in the wrong sport and you should be taken out of the sport immediately. So that's not the intention. The intention is to get the ball. Sometimes you might have to take somebody down or you have to go into defence, but the intention is not to hurt other people. Have I got a WhatsApp message I have to play there? Oh, okay, I'm going to play that here. Okay, okay? That's it here. Let's just play this.
Niall, how are you? Niall, I watched a main Kellie fight, and our own Kellie Harrington beat her, and she's been beaten 8 times by females. And I've watched her box, Niall, and I didn't see much of a difference in regards of strength, in regards of hitting the other female. I thought she actually boxed like a female. Now, when I heard all this controversy, I was up in arms and I went to watch to see what was going on, because I wouldn't agree with, like, you know, a sort of a male type person fighting a female. I wouldn't, but it looked to me like, you know, she had the same strength as a woman. And our own Kellie Harrington, I think, beat her. And I think another one of our female boxers beat her as well. And she's been beaten 8 or 9 times so far by female boxers. Now, she was really like fighting like a man and strength as a man. I don't think she'd be beaten as many times as that. I could be wrong, but I think this is all out of proportion. She may look like a male, but I watched her box, Niall, and I didn't see really much of a difference in her strength towards the person she was boxing as a female. Cheers, Niall.
Neil, I kind of disagree with you on this point, because I think she's just a bad male boxer, to be honest with you. That's probably why you thought she boxed like a female. She's a bad male boxer, but still better than most females, if you know what I mean. And that's why, obviously, going into the final as well. Let's be clear about it. You can identify a person whatever way you want to identify them, but biologically a person is either male or female. And on this occasion, this person, through testing, has XY chromosomes and is a male. And from what I'm aware in the pictures that have gone online now, and I could be completely misinformed, during training wears a jock strap. Females don't wear jock straps. The only reason you wear a jock strap is to protect a penis. So, from a biological point of view, it does seem to be male. And I don't know why everyone keeps calling her she all the time. It's clearly he, if it's a biological male. So, you know, stop with all the political correctness. Shouldn't be allowed to box against a woman. That's simple as that. There are young women out there in all sports. Forget about just that boxing for the moment, right? Leigh Thompson, for example, in America as well. There are young women who are boxing, who are swimming, who are running, who are jumping, and they spend their whole lives learning to be the best in their field. And the reason we have male-female categories in almost every sport, with the exception of, say, some sports like tennis and what have you, where they can have mixed doubles and stuff like that, because they tend not to be very much different. But the reason they have those categories in sports is because men usually are faster, stronger, bigger, tougher, can jump higher. So men usually have higher records. That's just because men physically have different bodies. The idea that somebody thinks we're all equal is madness, because we're not. We're not physically equal. Generally speaking, men are stronger. Male athletes, obviously, I wouldn't be, because I'm not athletic. But they're generally stronger. That's why we have separate categories. So the idea that you can put a man against a woman is ridiculous, because all you're doing is destroying that woman and that young girl's dreams. So it needs to stop. This political correctness of, oh, but it identifies as a woman. Piss off. It's a biological bloke, and that's it. It should be in bloke sports. Or if they want to have a separate category, far away and have a separate category for those who identify as males or females. Yeah, by the way, why don't we see it the other way around? We never see a woman who identifies as a man going into male boxing. I don't think it exists. I think there may be one, but doesn't do very well. So you don't see that existing, because it's just not going to happen, because they get their head punched in. Anyway, I could read a few more messages there, but I won't. This was enough there. Thank you to everybody involved in the show today. By the way, don't forget, please do support us. We need your support more than ever. More than ever. Trust me. I'm not going to go into the financial situation, but we have to pay the bloody bills. And, you know, I say it every day. You're watching the show yesterday. I think just on Twitter alone, there was 4,500 views. On Facebook, there was another 3,000 or 4,000. On YouTube, another 3,000 or 4,000. 10,000. He's just told me here on YouTube. About 20,000 people watched it live. On top of that, Another 20,000 people will download it that evening. Over time, more of you will download it, that particular episode. So at this stage now, we're up to about 750,000 views per month. If each one of those people gave us a small amount of money, we could do so much better. We could have reporters out on the streets. We could have all sorts of things going on to make this so much better. 725 million to RTE. How much do we get? That much. Zero. We get no help at all, apart from the help that you give us. So thank you to those who do donate and subscribe on our website. You really make a difference. You help us to pay the bills. We don't get paid. Buy us a cup of coffee, please. It costs you $5.99 to subscribe on the website, or you can donate a $5 to $5 million. I'm sure there's some of you out there now who are business people, you know, who have got a substantial amount of money, who listen to us every day and enjoy listening. And you enjoy the fact that, unlike today, which was a kind of social issue more so than anything else, a bit of fun, that we do bring up serious topics. We talk about hate speech laws. We talk about immigration. We talk about protests. We challenge the government constantly all the time. If it wasn't for the likes of us, for example, the Yes campaign would have won the referendum. If it wasn't for the likes of us and Grip Media and one or two others who pushed the No campaign, the Yes campaign would have won. So we need that part of the media as well. Because we can clearly see, when you see a headline from RTE telling us this morning, this is going to be the hottest year ever, according to the EU, which is bullshit. When you see those kind of narratives being pushed on mainstream media, it means it's more and more important that we have this type of media. And it is under threat, constantly, from places like Commission Amman and the European Digital Treaty and all those kind of other things. But we will make sure you are never censored. You will not be censored on the air. So please support us. Go to our website, niallboylan.com. A small donation. If you're on my Twitter account, you can click at the top, by the way, even buy us a cup of coffee. You see www.buyusacupofcoffee.com at the top of my Twitter account. If you can even do that, if it's easier for you to remember. But go to the website, niallboylan.com. Just give us a $5, a $10, something for, you know, watching it, if you've been watching it for the last year every single day or listening to it every single day, you know, because we're going to have to make a decision in the next week or two as to how we do things, because we could not afford to continue doing this the way we're doing it at the moment. We won't take sponsors. Sponsors don't want us anyway, because they don't want to attach themselves or align themselves with anything that's anti-establishment or anti-government, because sponsors are weak. They feel they get cancelled or boycotted. But we don't want to take sponsors because we don't want sponsors telling us what we can and can't talk about. Because that's the problem in media. A sponsor dictates what you can talk about. So we need you to support us. So please do that by going to our website, niallboylan.com. I'll talk to you again on Monday at 12. Until then, have a great weekend.
The multi-award-winning Niall Boylan Podcast. Listen live on Facebook, YouTube, and all the usual live stream services. To get in touch, just WhatsApp or text 085 100 2255. The Niall Boylan Podcast. They told me to shut up. Available for download from all your usual platforms.